Ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, what's going on? This is Lucas, or Dutra is what we call him, and I at Dash Academy. And a lot of you have been asking us a lot of questions, and so we figured why not try this kind of podcast style short form content out here. And so we're going to get right into it, answer some questions. Do you have anything to say, Dutra?
Yeah, let's go, guys. This is a first time for us, so forgive us if it's a little awkward at first, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to tell you guys a little more about me, about Hunter here, and also about Dash Academy. So I'm just here to have a good time so you guys can get to know us a little better.
I'm pumped. Yeah. So, Dutra, first question here. They want to know we got this a lot in some chats throughout all social medias. Why we started Dash Academy. So, what was the start? How did it begin? What happened?
Start point for me, there were two main triggers. Like, one was that I was a TA at the university. I was a tutor for the university. Let's not mention names, but I couldn't do things like my way. I always like to do practice problems, solve the problems. I always felt like students coming to me didn't really know what to do. So I felt like, okay, let me solve a problem for you, and then you solve one, kind of like a prep school. But the institution I was at, I couldn't do that. I kind of had to use what they call the Socratic method, which helps the student arrive to the answer. So that was the first reason. Like I kind of wanted to do things my way a little more, like prep school. And the second reason was what we experienced in biochem. So basically us needing a like one-time thing. Like I just need one session right now for this exam that we have and we're browsing online and we can't find anything that's not either locked behind a subscription or behind a big package of a bunch of hours. So at Dash, you can just book one quick hour, and that's what I also think like for entrepreneurs, right, Hunter? Like we always solving a problem. So we experienced that problem, and I feel like we've solved it pretty well, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
What about
mean,
you though? Like what are your thoughts? I'm sure like that second part is shared between you and me, but anything you would add to that?
I mean, definitely the biochem story hits home. Just getting torched in that class. There's so much content. Me and our friend Gabe just sitting there in the front row, getting hit with some pretty tough exams. What do we need? We needed a tutor. And
Especially Gabe.
yeah,
Shout out Gabe.
yeah. Gabe would he would start studying literally the night before. So
Yeah.
he needed this more than anything.
I remember one time Gabe and I were in the library and you were kind of like tutoring us in biochem. So that was a good
Bro.
time. And then we weren't getting anything. You were teaching us buffers. Remember buffer solution?
Yes.
And it was just Gabe and I, like you would teach us like here's how you calculate the pH or whatever. We would look at each other and we're like, dude, what?
Well, I remember the one picture that Gabe would always show of me, and it looks like I'm like
It
just
became
having
a
a
sticker on my
meltdown. Yeah.
WhatsApp. I still use that with Gabe all the time. It's just you like I give up on these guys.
I think there was one time too. I want to say we were at Nightshade or Retreat West now. I forget what it is. And I was going over something and you and Gabe were sitting there where we did the Orgo sessions at.
Yeah.
And I was trying to show you guys something and you guys just couldn't get it. And I wasn't doing a great job explaining it. And I was just at one point, I think I was just like, I have no clue.
I remember
This is
that.
as much as I know, something along those lines.
Yeah, we could definitely have used a platform that automatically matches us with a tutor at the time. So I think that was honestly the like luckiest thing we had. It was that vision. Like we saw that void in the market and applying and actually taking the steps to implement it, which has been a long journey to make the software come true. But yeah, I think the two steps, like finding the issue, but then more than that, solving that issue is what it was the craziest part. But hey,
And
having
solving it over time, I mean, it's really transformed where we originally were. Like, I guess the vision always was one-time sessions whenever you want them, right? But
Yeah.
at first, things were manual and tough, and coordinating group sessions, individual sessions, right?
I
Like, tell us about
yeah, that,
that.
that reminds me, there's a former member of the team that came up to me at the dinner. We had the end of the year party, and he was like, Ditra, every time I talk about a student, you were like, oh yeah, I know that student, I know their parents. So that goes to show like before the platform, we knew like every student at Dash, what tutor they have. And we're not talking three, four tutors, we're talking a team of 20 tutors, each of them with multiple students. So that was definitely a nightmare, to be
Yeah.
honestly. I'm glad we did it because we helped like hundreds of students manually, but I don't miss those times. It's funny because now we were just talking about that the other day. We don't even know
Yeah.
some of the students that book because it's all automated, so it just matches them. So we're no longer the middleman between the client and all of our tutors. It's pretty exciting how scalable it's gotten, right?
Oh yeah. And where we've came from for sure. Used to know name, phone number of some of these students, and now it's like who is this? It's nice getting to know them though. Like a lot of the students hit the gym with us.
Yeah.
Even newer students now we're able to still get them involved in physical health.
Yeah,
No?
that's something like I now that we have more time because the platform is doing a lot of the work. That's something I personally want to revive more that we
Yeah.
had in the beginning because at the beginning, although it was manual, that kind of made us be closer to these students, right? We were forced to be close to them. Like, dude, you got to pay for your session, right? Like, you got to show up. Where are you? So that made us be closer, which the downside was we had to work 14 hours a day, 12 hours a day. On a short day was an 11, 10-hour day just to get like a couple sessions scheduled. Um, that's the downside. But I feel like the upside of those manual things was that really brought us closer to the community, to the client at like a personal level.
Mhm.
So like now that the platform is there, I want to start bringing that back up. And that's why last week I hit with some students and I was telling them that bring that Dash Nexus community um, back together now that things are a little bit more digital. It's a bigger challenge, but I'm sure we can do it. Students do need that sense of community.
Yeah, I really want to revive that too. It was always great when we had, I mean, we had a couple 7, 8 man lifts, and females too. Savannah came a couple times.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure this fall we'll have some big ones. We still got to do the Dash 5K, which I haven't forgotten. It's summer, it's super hot, but maybe once it gets a little better, we can do one by the beach or something. But
I'm sure
that's
we'll do
something,
the Spartan again too.
and it's something that like everybody I mention it to, they're like, "Oh, that's cool." So all we're missing is like putting it together. So as soon as the summer is over, that's exactly what our energy should be going towards is because the sessions, the academic pillar. I mean, we have the strongest coaches ever. You can't even make it up. Like, we only take the top 6% of the applicants. So we fixed the academic part, and academic pillar. So to me now is really creating that like physical health pillar, making that stronger. And yeah, I can't wait for that. And I think we're gonna make huge progress with that this fall.
Me too. I'm pumped. Going back to the academics though. I mean, do you remember the first interviews? Sitting at CFS coffee shop. I mean,
Yes.
how bad were those? And what
Yeah,
were those
I don't even want to remember those. We come a long way, living and learning. It was like it was mainly almost like the other way around
Yeah,
interviews, right? We were talking more about all the things they have to do. We're basically training people at the interview before even like screening them. But yeah, that was at the very start. We only had like very few coaches that got onboarded in that format. And it's been a while that major they're not even on the team. Unfortunately, unfortunate for some. I'm kidding. But for the big part, I really love the new format though.
yeah.
Like the fact that it's automated, basically filtering based on GPA, based on having the correct technology and devices to support our students, like iPads and Zoom and all of that. It's crazy. I can't even believe how much, honestly, how much harder it is to become a tutor now. at Dash how competitive it's gotten since expanding to what, 7 universities now that we've had those sessions. So
Yeah,
pretty
I
exciting.
almost can't even believe that a lot of the automations that we've been able to make, like I didn't even know they were possible 2 years ago. And I don't think anyone that's listening to this, the few people that probably are, um, even realize what those early stage, early day interviews are like. Like, I honestly like miss them in a way, like just looking back, like, wow, that's how far we've came. I know you always bring that up and you're good at kind of referring back to the past, visioning the future. But
Yeah, it's
sitting there
also
and we were just,
and it's crazy to see like okay, it's being a long journey. Now we have landing pages, ad manager, seeing which landing page for the tutor is working best, and filtering and automations, like you said. And we actually only get to sit in the interview with the top applicants, which before it wasn't like that.
Mhm.
And it's crazy to see like it's been a long way, but then when you look at the big scheme of things, it's to just the very freaking beginning, which is scary but exciting in the
Yeah, it
same time
is.
because it's like, wow, there's always so much to learn. And that's actually the book I got from that conference I'm reading right now. It's called Teachable Heart. And like I'm actually freaking out. I've only read 30 pages, but I have a lot I have to share with you from that book. It's actually pretty cool stuff. And it has to do with this that we're talking about, like looking back and being like, oh my God, I've learned so many things. But then also like, oh my God, I don't know anything. It's crazy.
It's well, I want to ask about that book too. But it's like one of those things where the more you actually learn something, any subject, anything, you realize you don't know crap about that. Like you talk to doctors all the time about it. They're like the best in the business, like the best sleep doctors, the best lawyers. They're like, ah, yeah, but I don't know this one little minute detail how I should. It's crazy. But with
Yeah,
that book, how do you read these sort of self-help improvement books? It's something like any book that I've read, it's tough because you just want to take so many notes. What do you do
yeah.
for that? Or
It's
anyone else that wants to know?
like
How they,
like how to retain the info.
yeah, because there's just so much there to grab.
There's so much. It's so this book I'm reading is by the biggest angel investor in Brazil. So he's like a huge name. His name is João Kepler. And the way I retain this stuff, I don't know because I've only read 30 pages of that specific book, but I always like to have like something to highlight it. So I'm very selective with what I highlight. It's only the big like aha moments that I highlight because otherwise, like you said, like there's great insights on basically every page. So if you're also highlighting every page, that defeats the purpose. So whenever it's something like, oh my God, I've never heard something like this before, only if it's something like I've never actually seen anywhere, which nowadays that's hard to happen with how many TikToks and crops and cuts, but I've had a couple aha moments. So in 30 pages, I've highlighted like two sentences, and one of them was actually like it's harder to unlearn something than learn something new. And unlearning is also learning. So basically, that's what it was. Because like we are so focused sometimes on learning new things that we forget about the things that are keeping us from the success. Sometimes it's not something new you got to learn. It's something old that you have to let go and unlearn. So like that hit me so hard. And it was basically saying, stop trying to build good habits and start by quitting the old habits. And that's it. Like sometimes you don't even need to learn something new. You just have to unlearn something you've been doing forever. And just because it's worked like this, it's going to continue working like that. So that was like, wow. So that's one example of something I highlighted. But yeah, I feel like if you're very selective with what you're highlighting, it can be beneficial, but it's got to be those things that hit you in the soul, because otherwise you're highlighting the whole book and
And
it
that's what
defeats
I'm
the
guilty
purpose.
of. I like that with letting off like the weight, letting off those weights. That's good. Yeah, I mean, so you were probably a good reader test taker, right? Like able to analyze those passages and stuff like that. For me, it's like I don't know what to highlight, when to highlight it. That was huge on me taking the MCAT. It's like I don't know where to begin sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know because when it's I feel like that's a different. reading technique because when you're reading a book, you get to highlight what you think is the takeaway and what you
Yeah,
think it's interesting. But when it comes to standardized exams like the SAT, the MCAT, it's what the author thought the main takeaway was. So I'm not great with those.
I see. Huh. Well, now another sort of, I guess we can even keep going on this. It's like, how did you know Dash was the thing? Like, what was that first aha moment that you're bringing up with like the Juan thing that was for you? What was your first aha moment? Like, oh, this is it.
I think you know what mine was because it's probably a similar one to you. Which one was it for you? Let me see if it's the same.
Me, 100% without a doubt, first event.
First event?
First event. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like, it's like a movie, it's storybook. You
Yeah,
can't
so
even make it
tell
up.
them about our first event because I feel like some people may know that are watching this, but what was our first event?
Yeah, so our first event, we have an Orgo exam review. That we call this a boot camp that Tutor came up with. Just essentially what a boot camp is get as much things done, as many reactions and practice problems done in a 4 hour period. And so we're hosting this event, and we don't know sort of even how to get it into students' hands so they know about it. But we go around, we get all the students that are in organic chemistry to know at the university that we hosted at, which was UCF at the time. And the event was for the finals. And
And it was
so,
in-person event. That's an
yeah, that
important.
is very important. Good
It
call.
was.
So this in-person event, I think we were telling the students like the day before, a couple days before, and you and I were getting ready, and I'm sitting there thinking like 5 people are going to show up. You're sitting there saying like, I remember you were more optimistic. You were like, "Ah, I
Yeah,
think I could see like
always.
30."
I'm always the optimistic dude. That's why we work out so well as a duo. It's like you bring me to the middle always.
We'll bring each other there. Yeah.
Yeah, we bring each other to the middle.
But yeah, it's like I think I went to the bathroom and we didn't even have a way of getting people's names there. We didn't know what we were doing with anything. Like, how do we even know this person's in organic chemistry? What's the name of this person just in case you wanted to call on the student or whatever? We didn't have any of that. And I'm going to the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom and you're like, yo, go look in there. And I look in there and there's a line out the door and it's packed. Over 100 students.
In person. And that was crazy. And it
Mind
was even
blown.
crazy because up to that day, like the biggest group sessions we had done was probably groups of three, maybe one group of four, right, for the sessions. So looking at that large audience was definitely nerve-wracking. I do have a core memory from that day too. So yeah, that was the day for me too. That I was like, oh my God, that's when some like things clicked for me.
Well,
And I
we
remember,
had to keep going too with it because there was people still trying to get in the room. Remember, Bia and Tori had to go and get the
yeah,
camera to
yeah,
host the Zoom.
we had to stream the event for the people that couldn't make it into the room. So we had, I think, 100 and something people there, like 110, I think was the max capacity for the room. And then we were streaming it to another like 50 people. So we had like 150 people total while streaming the event. And those people were all sitting in the library, I remember.
Did
So
you ask one of I forget what they were called, the person that is like the event coordinator? Didn't you ask them to like, hey, can we switch into a bigger room? Then they said no.
yeah, they said it was all taken. Yeah, I remember it started getting packed and there was a line out the door. And then I asked like one of the people that ran the building was like, yo, you have a bigger room for us? And they were like, not this last minute. And then we were like, okay, we got to stick to this. And that's when we had to stream it, which it was unfortunate because we had no clue whatsoever how to stream and also that we would have to stream because like you said, my optimistic side was thinking 25 kids, not 150. So the people that had to watch the streaming, they actually missed like the first 40 minutes. Which now that I learned a lot more about marketing and sales, I'm like, ah, that's a good teaser. Like that's we're sold out. I guess it worked out in our favor, but at the time I know we were just mad. We were like, bro, we didn't get
We need
everyone.
more.
But maybe that was a good thing at the time. So now looking back, that's funny. So they missed the first 40 th something minutes.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
I
had
definitely remember being super nervous for that event when I actually saw the number of people, especially for the first couple minutes, because it was just so many people. And I remember saying the first few words like, guys, we're gonna start by understanding the difference. I think it was like nucleophile versus electrophiles. And then as soon as I say that, I just see like 100 students go their heads down and like take notes. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot say anything inaccurate here. Like I gotta stay super locked in. So I'm giving these kids like the best piece of information they can get. So that definitely made me freeze and get really nervous. But luckily we had three dash students like that I had sessions weekly that were sitting front row. So I kind of was just like, if I try to teach to 100 kids, by the way, this is a great public speaking tip here, guys. Like, if I try to teach 100 kids, I'm gonna freeze, I'm gonna be nervous. So I just like focus on those three students that I knew, those familiar faces, and I just gave them a 4 hour lecture while all those people were looking at us. But
I
yeah,
always give props to you because those first couple times, like I look at you and I'm like, I'm not going in there saying anything. I remember I had to
you
sort of
did say
announce
though.
the event
You
and
did
like
some
say,
homework.
okay, guys, we're about to get started. I'm like looking at you. What am I going to say here? Like,
I mean,
I
we
kind of just throw you under because for me, that was always terrifying too. But now you get used to it after you've done it so much.
Yeah, that's the good thing of always being the two of us because it's like whenever you're freaking out, you threw the other one under the bus, and then the other one is freaking out, throw you back under the bus. So like that's how I guess we've managed pressure.
And we were in all black, and something that always sticks out for me from this event is that guy, I forget, we didn't know if he was TA or Sark or something. He was showing his friends like the men in black, the black guy
Yeah, the
standing in all black.
memes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so distracting because like I was already nervous and they kept showing with the iPad like the man in black making fun of us for the meme mid-event. 150 people watching and I'm just like trying to remember and stay locked in for 100 plus reactions we were covering while like they're making fun of us. But guys, that's the price you pay for trying to do something different and amazing. But yeah, that was definitely something. Um, but I'm glad we went through it now because it definitely makes a whole like a lot more easy. In fact, the next year we did spring and we were like, okay, now we know this is gonna blow up. So we repeated the in-person event like what, 7 months after? Like six,
Yeah.
7 months after? Maybe not even. I think that was final. So yeah, like 5, 6 months after. And bigger room, right? It was like what the capacity was like 280 seats or 300 seats. But the same issue happened because now we were better at marketing it and we still got the room packed. So the second boot camp we had was 350 kids in person. So, but that one we were already like pros at
Plus the online.
it.
We planned for the online. It was one of the biggest classrooms that anybody can even get, which was crazy. Fire department wouldn't be happy because, like you said, it was like 250. We packed that room 350, right? Like there were students sitting in the aisle where people would walk.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane.
that was a good time. And that one was nice because we weren't nervous for it.
Yeah.
We were excited and that was definitely a good time too.
And then
Um,
back to sort of like the original question, like why, like what was the aha moment? It's like for me, I went to some free exam reviews for the university. One, didn't get anything out of it. It wasn't helpful. Um, and there would be five people there. And so that's sort of probably why I thought there would be five people here. It's organic chemistry or it's a class. Like who wants to go to a class on a Friday night at a university with other students? They want to go out and party. No. It's like we packed it twice and then kept packing it and packing it.
yeah, and I'm sure if we did it again, it would back it again.
Yeah, it would
So
probably be more.
especially for the boot camp. That's such a catchy name and everything aligned. It's one of those things that it just all aligns and that was great. But yeah, for me, it was definitely the fact that like not only everybody came to something different, like you said, but like everybody stayed until the end. And there was like lines of people to talk at the
Yeah.
end. So to me, that's what it did it because like I just talked for 4 hours nonstop, which by the way, thanks for listening to that. Because like you knew everything I was going over and you still sat there and listened to it for 4 hours. So that's crazy. But yeah, the crazy thing to me was because like yeah, people came, they didn't know us. So I guess we sparked some curiosity, like you said, something different. But curiosity alone, if they don't like it, they wouldn't come back. So to me, the aftermath of the event was what was awesome to me because after the event, people would talk to us, they would line up and ask, like, are you guys doing more of these? How can we do the private sessions? So I was like, wow, there's a big void here. Like they not only came to something different, like you said, but they liked it and they want more of it. So to me, that was like, yeah, we got to do this. We got to do this. And then the fact that the second event was triple the size, which was hard to triple an event that big, but we managed to do it. That's more confirmation than anything you need right there. So that did it. But I also don't want people to think here, people that are listening, that it was always like that amazing, huge thing. All right, guys, because we've also had flopped things before. So we lucked out that our first event was massive and that our second event was massive. And we still have huge events. We just had a blast, an online one with over 350 in a Zoom. Remember that, Hunter, for example, one with you? Because I didn't think an online one would get that much traction, but we got almost 400 signups. So we get those big ones, but the more you mature, of course, in business as founders through the journey, I've also done events for one person, right? I've also done events for two people and not gotten paid $1. And you drove to the campus, did the announcements, invited everybody, but bad timing. Maybe a class got canceled. We've had events that the day we were gonna announce, the class was canceled, and unfortunately, students couldn't hear about it. But we had one sign up and we were like, we can't let this person down. They signed
Yeah.
up. So we're like, let's do it. So we have hosted events for 350 kids, but the same coach, us, you and me, have also hosted events for one single student, which I think that's the beauty of it too. Like you sticking to your word doesn't matter if there's going to be 400 kids in there or one person in there, we're doing it and we're getting you that help. So that's also like some context I want to add to this because the beginning was definitely awesome and we blew up super fast. But the more you go through that journey, the more you get lucky, but the more you also get out of luck. So that's just a nuance I want to add because I don't want
Yeah, I'm
everybody
glad
to
you
think.
did. Because yeah, people would definitely be thinking, "Oh yeah, it just works." It's
Yeah,
like,
like
no,
just two
we've
events and you always got 400 signups. It's like, no, we've done 80, what, almost 90 something events now.
and
So
we've even in between first and second event, like we've our skin has been required to get so tough and thick just from being told no from literally everybody, right?
yeah,
You got family telling you no, friends telling you no, like, why are you doing this? You got uh, universities sometimes, you got professors, you got students, you got parents. I mean, yeah, you a lot of the good stuff comes, but there's bad too.
I agree. And it's that analogy that I think we've talked before. It's like if you're trying to build your own thing, like founders are, like you and me, e- rejection is literally like part of the game and you have to go in knowing that. So you have to recover fast from rejection. And the analogy that I've heard that I really love is it's just like blood to physicians, like to surgeons. If you're a surgeon, you can't mine blood because you're a surgeon. So that's kind of part of the job. So imagine if a surgeon, every time they get their hands dirty with blood, they're like, ew, that's blood, right? No, you can't. So for founders and also for salespeople, this also goes for sales reps because they get rejected over and over. I like to say that rejection is equivalent to blood, how blood is for surgeons, rejection is for founders and salespeople because you just get rejected multiple times and you just gotta find that number What is my rejection rate? If 95% of people are rejecting me, five people are saying yes. So just get used to that rejection, which everybody hates to get rejected. So that's why I think so hard to get through that threshold.
Hey, yeah, definitely. And it does feel when the rejections happen a lot in a short period of time, you do feel awful. But then like they do hurt less as they happen more. And then like when there's a period of no rejection and then the rejection comes back again, it's tough.
Yeah.
But like
It resets
Bezos
the
always
clock.
says, yeah. But like Bezos says, like if you're creating something new, like your people just don't know what it is. Like you have to explain it to them multiple times in multiple different ways because it's new. Why
Exactly.
will someone switch from something old that works to new that's better, works better, faster, quicker, more efficient? They got to see it many times, right?
Yeah, like part of me sometimes like I wish like why did we not just like sell cars? I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Because it's like the same and it's just like there's so much out there that you can apply to it. But when you're like, no, we're gonna make a platform that you can just go in and book quick and easy right now, and our coaches are gonna help students perform academically and physically, and it's a holistic thing that we want to create a community for. It can get hard, like you said, to explain. But that's at the same time the beauty of it. Once it works, which now it's already working, already have the students, the coaches, it's nice to see that, okay, a lot of people are buying into that vision, they're seeing it, and it's only up from there. So it's cool
I'm,
that
I'm
we're
gonna ask you
misunderstood about
something
it.
that I don't think I've ever asked you.
Ooh,
I'm curious what you're gonna say with this before we get into the next thing.
I'm nervous
Why
now.
do you think that students came to the first event? Like, if you were sitting there, what would have made you come to this event versus the university event or the friend just studying with a friend? Why are
Honest
you wait?
answer.
Yeah,
Because you were jacked in that announcement. I'm kidding. I'm joking. But partially because how different we looked. So like we had the polos, very professional polos, dress shoes, tucked in, belt. So we looked very put together. And of course, with you and me being very into like the gym and all of that, I do think people it was just a we broke the expectation. I think we went when we went up to announce the event, people were expecting everything but chemistry review, right? So when you and me pulled up to the classroom, I remember we sitting right next to a student right before the announcement, and the student was like, "What are you guys like? Are you guys doing a fitness thing?" And I was
yeah,
like, "No, dude, we're tutors." Remember?
yeah,
And he was like, dude, what? So although I was joking, I do think that's partially the reason, and then also the energy, because like the energy also doesn't match an old like chemistry textbook. The energy was more like, bring your friends and caffeine. Remember we said that at the end of every announcement? We're like,
I
guys,
love that part too.
yeah, and we put that big on the flyer too. Bring your friends and caffeine, right? Just hype up. Like, I think that was like people were like, "What? This is definitely different, right?" Because it wasn't the usual like not that they're all boring and all like that, but the majority of them are like, "Yeah, guys, there's a free exam review," and it's very monotoned. So I think it was that. Like, it was just the fact that we broke their expectation. Nobody was expecting it, and I feel like every time you break a pattern like you catch people's attention more. And that's like what comedians do, right? They are telling a joke, you expect them to say something, and then they just like say something completely off the what you were expecting, and that's why we laugh. That's why it's so funny. And I think we kind of did that, but not for comedy, obviously, but for what we did.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Do you think it's something along those lines too, or do you have another hypothesis for
I
this?
mean, I like your answer a lot. It's something like I've never really thought about myself. I really like your answer. I do think the breaking the expectations and the pattern, the normal, like is a big reason. Like if there's 100 people walking down the street in white shirts and you see someone in all dressed in all pink, like you see the all pink and that's us. So I would probably agree with you
Yeah.
and almost leave it at that. Like I don't know if I was sitting there. I don't give my time to many people. So the fact that a lot of people gave their time to us, I think even makes us want to do those events for the one person that signs up every now and again. And that's probably why we're here where we are now and why we keep hosting more and growing more.
For
But
sure.
it almost like that process you're talking about, it almost formalizes something that we created and we actually instilled in all coaches, which is the Dash Academy method. And that's the next thing, like, I think we need to talk about here is like what this method is. It's holistic. You mentioned academic, physical health, mental health. Tell the students that don't know about the method, or maybe they've experienced the method in sessions. They just don't
Yeah.
know it's an actual thing.
Yeah, I think that's a huge turning point for making us again different from the competitors is that majority of the platforms, as you know, marketplaces, random
Hmm.
tutors, you get a 50-year-old PhD that charges $300 an hour, and you also get an 18-year-old charging 15 bucks an hour that probably didn't even get an A in the class. So welcome to marketplaces, right? There's no vetting. So in Dash, we vet them before they get in, but once they get in, the training that we have for our code for our tutors is the Dash Academy method, which yeah, I love the Dash method because it's not just again academic, but the best part of the method is how to be leaders and how to create more leaders. So I love that because it wasn't random either. So you play D1 football. We when building the method, we did that research, holistic research to build it and just learning from champions, coaches from D1 top schools and learning from martial artists like my background in MMA and my masters, black belts, world champs, and incorporating that into our tutors is something that's truly rewarding for me because people that definitely sense that difference. I believe to put it in simple terms, the biggest difference is that proactivity. Every time students go to a tutor, it's just like the tutor just asks them, "What do you want to go over? What do you need help with?" And between us, like students don't even know, right? Like at least when I was a student, I didn't know. Like when we were in biochem, I didn't even know what I needed help with. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing, right?
Right,
So
you just want what's on the exam, and you don't know what's on the exam because you've never taken the class and you don't know. Yeah,
yeah, it's like you go to a basketball. That's a great analogy you give, right?
yeah,
You go to a basketball like training with your basketball coach. Your coach is never asking you, what do you want to go over today? Right? You go to football training, your coach is never going to ask you, what do you feel like you need to work on? They just tell you, hey, run the yards, do this, jump, do 100, right? Throw 100 shots. So, like, that's where I think Dash is extremely different because you go in a session with a coach, you already submitted what your struggles were in the booking flow, and then you go into the session and the coach actually has a plan. So that's the biggest part of the Dash method that we have to come in with a pre-made lecture plan. Of course, there's a lot more on how to build that plan, how to make that plan engaging, index of how many problems you need per topic. So it's very holistic, but we don't have to get into the nitty-gritty details of how to build a killer like prep session, like what we said earlier, no Socratic method. Like it's a prep session. Like here's how you do it. Now you do it. Now do repetitions of it. Get better. Like really very similar to sports. Um, but yeah, just going into a session and knowing that your coach got you and your coach is coming in ready with a game plan for you, I already think that beats everything. But then we also have communication, right? Body language, like how to act, because all the things we learned along those big events, those freezing moments, that's all in there. So our tutors don't have to go through it. So our tutors get a complete pack, and it's really a book. If you guys haven't seen it, I actually don't have mine handy, but it's a physical book that you can just
I do. I have mine back over there.
you have yours right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that we train our tutors on. And then they get scored. So Hunter, do you want to explain like how, because we do the method and then we also score them against the method to see how strictly they're abiding to the dash method. Um, because we want to assure our students are getting consistent quality all across, and it's not a marketplace where you get a great tutor and then you get a bad tutor. No, you're getting a dash tutor, which is always going to be great. So, how do we make sure our tutors are following the dash method,
Yeah,
Hunter?
yeah, I'll go into that. I do want to just add a little bit more with the method, and people just don't realize the overlap. And if anybody does leadership well, it's sports coaches. Like they're the best leaders. I think almost more than anything, if you're able to get the a team of let's say 150 guys on a football team with hormones that are through the roof and roids sometimes, right? And you're able
Yeah,
to coach them and get them to align vision and do it well. And this could be any sport, doesn't not just football, cheerleading, literally anything. It's just incredible. And that's why we're incorporating that holistic side of it, right?
I agree.
And the next level of it, what I want to bring up before answering your question is, well, holistic health will get the students better scores and help the coach better, right? The physical health, me going out and exercising every day, one, you feel better, you're healthier, and you're actually, there's so many studies on it. It's helping you better and think more cognitively and like improve. Sleep, that's huge. Like, are you sleeping enough? That's something that you're always big in,
Yeah.
right? Like, are you
Cooperate.
pulling the all-nighter before your exam?
Yeah.
Mental, are you still hanging out with friends, socializing, going to the beach? People think they have to sacrifice all those things just to score well. Like, I bet there's so many people that talk to us and they say they're studying 14, 16-hour days. And it's like, you don't need to do that. That's overkill. And you're probably not, the quality isn't there. It's just quantity.
Yeah, you can't stay sharp for that long
Mhm.
unless you're on stop, which you shouldn't be on
Yeah.
stop. But
So
I
I think
totally agree. That's a good point.
just being, I think what we are is like, we're showing people you don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to, you just need quality study time and you can still do everything else right. Just come with us. We'll hook you up. We'll tell you what you need to know. You go to your exam, you do well, and the rest is history. But how do we ensure they do well? Well, like you said, there's the training before they get on the team and they get vetted. They go through that process. If they're qualified, they get trained once they're on. And then after that, it's we help. We go in. It's us and the student. So student will rate the session, how the session went, give us feedback, and let us know how we can improve or how what their experience was so we can improve and make adjustments or double down on some things that they love. And the which is probably the most important. And then there's also we're reviewing the sessions and we're scoring it on the Dash Academy scoring chart, which is like the Disney-fied way of reviewing people. And it's holistic as well. Professionalism, communication, clarity, all of these things we look at and we want to make sure that the students provide with the best experience possible. And sometimes it's even us that we have to put the coaches in the right positions. For instance, lighting. Like my lighting today isn't the best, but there's times where lighting is absolutely awful. And it's like, okay, we need to send that coach some material, a ring light or something, so that we can help them out in providing the student a good experience. So that's what I love about that too. And I know you've been big on Dask.
And I like to think of the desk as like every session that a coach has, especially online sessions, is like an exam they're taking, right? On the dash method that they were
Mhm.
training. And then they submit that exam, and then us directors of academics, right? You, me, Michael, we go in and we grade that session against, like literally, it's a rubric. We can't share that with you guys, so that's internal training procedure. I know some of you guys would want to see that, but it's literally a rubric that they get points and they lose points based on each of those categories Hunter described. And then we do a longitudinal analysis of our coaches. For example, a coach did a couple sessions this week. Okay, they scored an 80, 79, 78. What are they scoring next week? Where are they scoring the week after? So after 6 months, we can see the trends, right? And us as chief academic coaches, directors, we go in and we give them all those tools, like Hunter mentioned, to increase those scores. Otherwise, they can't stay on the team because you got to operate in the high standard. We have a minimum grade that you got to have in order to stay on the team. So, yeah, it's not just vetting them upon the door for getting in. To stay in, you have to stay performing because, like, one thing you said earlier, Hunter, that I really like is like students are trusting us with their time. Like, I think that's huge. Not just their money, of course, because they're making that investment for the private sessions, but their time. If a student is sitting 2 hours in a session and they're not learning, money isn't even my biggest issue because we can give them a refund. But we can't, what we can't give them is 2 hours back. You
Right.
can't pay that back. So that's why we got to keep scoring all of our coaches. That's why it has to be, like Hunter said, Disney standards. Because to those of you who didn't quite understand that, we use the same metrics that Disney uses to make everything magical,
Yeah.
to make our sessions magical, right? So,
And we're
so
not
that,
grading these coaches too from like a menace standpoint where we're like that professor that'll mark you off points everywhere that we can. We do show grace, right?
yeah. I don't know. Depends. If I'm in a good mood, I'm giving. But but yeah, it's like we're pretty we see the context, right?
Yeah.
So if a coach is, for example, 10 out of their sessions, out of 10 sessions, nine of them they had great lighting and one they had to do from a coffee shop because they were close to the library and they did it online and it wasn't the greatest lighting. We do have some grace for our coaches because they're great, but we also hold them up to the standards. So
Yeah, that's a
that's
good point.
the trade-off there.
That's right. Well,
So yeah,
let's
if you're thinking of being a dash coach, guys, know that we're gonna keep watching you.
is is there any to release the desk? I don't even know if this is like this is just me thinking just random. Is there any like count on this video that would get you to release the desk?
Oh my
Or
God.
no?
Probably,
And you
yeah.
could think huge. Is there a number? They're gonna hold you accountable to this too, so you
Oh my
better
God. Okay, let's make it impossible, guys. Uh, 25,000 likes.
25,000
25,000
likes.
likes
Okay.
to this video.
And we'll probably forget, but they'll have to remind us if we get there.
For sure. I hope they get there.
Then we'll
And
have
we
to like change it,
Yeah.
make
And
it
also,
better.
guys, one thing I will say, if there's a topic you guys want us to focus on for the next ones that we're going to be doing, we already have a bunch of topics you guys have requested, but if there's any specific topics, there's so much still to be shared, like turning down med school to continue this journey, um, talking to investors as like founders with little experience and investors with a lot of experience. Like there's just so much we can share. And also academics, right? Sessions and teaching and content. So drop it down if you guys have anything like you want us to go over. We can continue to do these and add value to you guys, whatever it is, like we said from a founder perspective, from a teacher perspective, because we're basically teachers if we're tutors, right? It's just a fancy word for a teacher. From sales, whatever. So
Yeah,
let us
we're
know.
an open book, guys, and we're always looking out for you all. We want to show
Yeah.
you more of the back scene type of content and let you know a little bit more about where we're at, where we're going. So last topic, let's go. Like, where is Dash Academy headed? What is the next year looking like? What is the next 5 years looking like? What is that vision? So students can see, so coaches can see, so investors can see, so whoever watches this video can see where Dash is headed.
Ooh. I'll give mine like kind of like 5 and 10 year vision,
Okay.
and then you give yours, okay? Because I'm actually curious here. I'll keep it short since we're heading to the end here, and I don't want to keep you guys for too much longer. Thanks for staying, guys. For those of those two of you who say, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. But anyways, so 5-year vision for me is for Dash to be literally everywhere, next Uber, next DoorDash, not only in the United States, but also abroad. If you have a question and you want a tutor, I want you to be able to get a good academic tutor with a few clicks for as soon as a couple hours from now. So Dash is at a 36-hour booking now. We're bringing that into 6 hours, I believe. I think we can do that in the next year, meaning
Hmm.
it's morning, you can book a session for late afternoon. So I want it to be like DoorDash for academic support in the next 5 years. Boom. There you go. Everybody that's in high school and college, whatever that is, the first thing that comes to their head is Dash. And then 10 years, I want it to be a community, like a fraternity, sorority, whatever you want to call it, a mixed fraternity where we're all brothers. And if you're part of this community, if you're part of Dash, if you're in our lobbies, which is an alert, right,
That is
Hunter?
a sneak
Coming.
peek. That's an
But
Easter egg, yeah.
but our communities and our and also our group sessions that we have to make it more affordable for students. Um, if you're part of the Dash community, I want you to know that you have brothers watching your back. Dash helps Dash, and it's a community of healthy people across the three spectrums, like we said. So to me, it's to build a community of people that are working out together, that are studying together, and that are socializing together everywhere. So if you travel to a different state, to a different university, and you meet a Dash student, you're helping them. You're sending them practice problems. They're sending you practice problems. You guys are meeting in the library, taking espresso shots together, studying, and then killing a lift. Because that's like the idea for me is to have that group of high performing individuals where we help each other because it's so hard to stay consistent if you don't have a group of people. So that's what it is to me, that building a true community of high performing individuals, starting from the top with our high performing coaches to the bottom, our high performing students.
I like that.
So
Yeah. I mean, that's perfect. I would agree with both of those points, the community and where it's heading globally. For me, just adding something different, another touch is the the vision would be to inspire and motivate students to think like, hey, I can do this. I want to be a doctor, but my mom and dad weren't, and I grew up in a underserved area in West Virginia. I don't think I can do this. Yeah, Dash will get you there. Like we will inspire you with the community. Like you said, with that, with our high performing coaches, with our network of students, we'll support each other and get you across the finish line. And how do we do that with providing the support sessions wise? Group, individual, all of that. And something I want to get, and this is I haven't even showed you the video that where I saw this yet. It's a massive map of the United States. Okay. And within each state, it shows all the states and it's white background, black states. Within each state, it shows every county. I think
oh
it'd be cool
wow.
if we got either a county one or a university one where we could literally color in the universities that Dash is in. And then as we spread across, you'll see which ones we're in, where we're going. And you guys that are watching can help us get in those universities. So
Yeah,
if you
that
go
is
to,
awesome. I love that idea.
yeah, Harvard and we're not in Harvard, well, you can be the student that books a session and we can say, Alex from Harvard just booked and we first student. I'd love to do that just because we need to get in every university. We need to show students this opportunity. People don't know about it. We need to get them it.
I love that. I really like the map one. One impact that I forgot that I think whether we want it or not, it will be one of the biggest impacts that this will have is the fact that we are solving one issue that we didn't even mean to solve at first, but we are.
Mhm.
You already know where I'm heading.
I do,
We're
but it's important you say it.
we're generating revenue to college students who are in student loans and debt. So our coaches, at the end of the day, they're high performing college students that are in their senior years, in their last sprint, and they're amazing at what they do. But nobody's more broke than college students, and I can speak that from my own experience, right? Nobody's more broke than college students. So the fact that we are making a platform that gives and brings revenue to college students is something I'm very excited about. I want to bring hundreds of millions of dollars to the pockets of college students across the nation, and only to the pockets of those college students who are high performing and are really great at what they do. They have to be rewarded for that. It's not fair that you have a summa cum laude resume, 4.0 GPA, 1450 SAT score, and you're not getting paid to share that knowledge. So that's something we want to address too.
I love
There's
it.
so many people that could be making money off of their knowledge, and I think the purpose of Dash is to bring money to their pocket, and
So,
that's a big impact I want to have in all college students.
so important. Yeah, that's huge.
All
Well,
right. So are
we've
we
never
near the
wrapped
end
up one of these, so how are we gonna wrap this one up? See you
here?
guys soon, right?
Yeah, guys, let's wrap this up. If you thought this was a cool video, send it to your friends. Be like, yo, bro, when you're getting your steps, hitting your gym, just listen to this. Some nice insights here. If you want to be involved, whether you want to be a student, a tutor, an ambassador, an outreach person, just hit us up. We will be willing to talk to you, and one of our representatives from the team will help onboard you. So, yeah, guys, stay in touch, stick around. We'll have some more. And if there's any topics you want us to do next, drop them in the chat. And that's my wrap up. Thank you guys for listening to us. I'll hand it off to you, Hunt.
Well, I guess we should probably put the website link in the description so people can click on it and if they wanted to apply and stuff. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you liked it and you enjoyed it. You want to follow us on this journey of changing the world, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.